102,000 on hand at Tiger Stadium for a matchup of top 10s. Number 8 and undefeated Florida. Number 6 and unbeaten LSU. If you take a look at the standings, top 2 teams sitting up there all by their lonesome. 4-0 in conference play for Florida. LSU 3-0 in conference play. And it looks like Alabama is about to take care of Texas A&M and knock them from the unbeaten ranks in SEC play. With Todd Blackledge and Holly Rowe, I'm Brad Nessler. LSU won the toss. They deferred to the second half. For the Tigers, Cameron Gamble will kick, and Brandon Powell is back deep for Florida. Nothing like a Saturday night in Louisiana. Here we go. Powell will have to let it go, and we'll bring it out to the 25-yard line. Treion Harris, new quarterback, Todd. A strange week, obviously, with Will Grier being suspended for a year. Enter Treion.
Well, Treion started the first game of the year, and then he split time against East Carolina in the second game. Has not attempted a pass in a game since that East Carolina game, but the coaches have all raved about his preparation during this time that he's been the backup quarterback, that he has stayed true to his preparation. He is prepared like a starter, and all of a sudden, he's a starter again here in Death Valley tonight.
Jim McElwain says the team has rallied around him beautifully to help him transition back into being the starter. And they'll start from the 25-yard line. With 2 tight ends, he fakes a pitch on a bootleg. He's in trouble already, but he got the pass complete, and it's going to be a first down to Antonio Callaway. Let's take a look at our Chick-fil-A impact players. And to throw the ball with any effectiveness, you have to run it as well. And Brandon Powell can be a good receiver, and he can also play it out of the backfield, a former running back. Lewis Neal leads LSU in sacks with 4. Kendall Beckwith, their middle linebackers, their big hitter and their top tackler.
Right away on the very first play, you see what Treion Harris brings to this offense. The ability to extend or make plays with his feet as well as his arm.
Here's Calvin Taylor's first carry, and Taylor pops it out to the 40-yard line. Good gain before Deion Jones knocks him down. So immediately Florida with good field position at the 40-yard line.
Florida uses their tight ends a lot. Not just to throw the football to, but to use in formations. They'll play 2, sometimes 3 tight ends. And they try to create advantages in the run and the pass game by the way they use their tight ends.
That was Jake McGee you saw, and he's in motion as he sets up to the left of Harris. And he's going to lead the way for Taylor. And a good block by Jake. And it got Taylor out about 2 yards shy of the first down.
Jake McGee is a graduate transfer, came from the University of Virginia. He's had a really nice year so far.
We saw him a couple weeks ago with a touchdown catch.
18 receptions on the season. I mean, the tight end position from the receiving standpoint has just blown away what they've done at Florida the last couple years. And Jake McGee, the leader of that group.
Brandon Powell is in the backfield right now with Treion Harris on a 3rd down and 2, opening 3rd down situation for the Gators.
Again, quarterback run possibility here with Harris.
And Powell is blasted for a loss. Well, it made an impact, but so did Deion Jones. And it'll be a punting situation for the Gators.
I'm curious if this was a zone read type play for Harris. He gives it to Powell. It looked like he had a blocker in front with Jake McGee that he might have been able to keep that ball, as it was an excellent play by Deion Jones to force the punt situation.
That's Tre'Davious White, who averages about 11 yards a return. Has a 67-yard touchdown to his credit this year as a punt return man. Johnny Townsend to kick for Florida. And they're going to have to get out of the way. No, he tried to take it on one hop, and that was a bad mistake. Ball is dead where he muffed it. Nick Washington's the guy that headed to the end zone with it. So mistake number 1, and it's been a tough special teams performance for LSU this year, despite the fact they're undefeated.
Yeah, it's been a real Achilles heel, and normally LSU in the last several years.
On the field, the ball was touched by the receiving team, recovered by the kicking team. It's dead at that spot. First down, Florida.
LSU historically has been one of the better special teams units in the SEC. I think clearly there was a touch off the shoulder and a huge break for Florida in the special teams right away.
That took a weird hop, and he should have just gotten out of the way, despite the fact that thing might have rolled down inside the 5. It would have been better than giving Florida the football at the 13-yard line.
See if Jim McElwain's aggressive right here with the quick sudden change.
Fake it to Taylor on the bootleg. Harris got a lot of room in front of him, and here he goes. This is what he does very well. Out of bounds at the 8-yard line.
The value of a quarterback who is a threat to run is of particular importance in the red zone, because it really gives the defense a whole nother thing to worry about. It's a bootleg. He's got 3 receivers that he has a chance to go to. Doesn't like what he sees downfield, turns it into a positive gain. That puts added stress on the defense in the red zone when the quarterback is a running threat.
There's the red zone touchdowns this year for Florida. They've got a 2nd down and 5. They can get a 1st down at the 3. They move Callaway across the field. In the pistol, it's Taylor behind Harris. He gets the call straight up the middle, runs into a wall wearing a white jersey with gold pants, and that was Lewis Neal, one of our impact players.
One of the things that LSU has done very well this year is they've dominated the first quarter from a scoring standpoint. And right now they're back against the wall here early. And Florida threatening.
This would be a huge stop for LSU following the turnover on the punt return. 3 wideouts and Jake McGee, the tight end, on a 3rd down and 5.
Again, I think you pay attention to Jake McGee and you pay attention to the quarterback's ability to run. Here's McGee right here in the slot.
Harris pressured. He's going to dive near the 1st down marker, but he went out of bounds, I think, short. Well, they give him a good spot. It's really close. I didn't think he was even going to get to the corner, but he showed his speed out there and then might be that much short.
Now decision time for Jim McElwain. I think you get the turnover, you've got momentum, you have a chance to quiet this crowd down early in the ball game.
You've only missed 1 4th down conversion all year. They've got some beef in there. They bring some of their defensive linemen to help block. Harris throws on the run, got his man in the corner. It's a touchdown, and it is Jake McGee.
What a gutsy call. 4th and less than 1. They call a pass, and Treion Harris delivers.
That couldn't get there fast enough for Jake.
You want to throw it right at him. Jake McGee knew where the sideline was. Good footwork on the sideline. And what a gutsy call on 4th and less than 1. And the Gators score.
And that's a reaction from their head coach. They're 11 out of 12 on 4th down conversions. And in this case, it's a touchdown and a 7-0 lead. They take advantage of the muff punt. And they go 13 yards in 4 plays. There was the mistake that led to the touchdown. 7-0 Gators on the road. 7-0 Gators. Treion Harris, 3rd touchdown pass of the year.
Well, I talked about Florida, how they use formations to create confusion. Look at this. This is a tight end. This is an offensive tackle. This is a defensive tackle. And then this is a tight end receiver who goes out for the pass. The confusion created on the LSU defense. They weren't sure where Jake McGee was, who the eligible receiver was. Treion Harris knew where he was, and the Gators have a 7-0 lead.
They took over at the 13-yard line. What a way to give your quarterback some confidence. They had a short field. He gets a touchdown pass. They lead on the road, and now George Powell set to kick off. Darrell Williams and Darius Geis are back deep for LSU. About the 1-yard line is Geis, who had a great game a week ago, and he's got tremendous speed. Geis tripped up at the 35, or he might have had an even bigger one.
Jalen Tabor with the big play-saving tackle. Tabor had an interception return for a touchdown a week ago at Missouri.
We welcome those of you who just saw the shocker at the big house. We're in Death Valley. Tiger Stadium in LSU, over 102,000 on hand. And there's been a shocking development in this one already as LSU muffed a punt. Florida took it 13 yards in 4 plays, and they lead on the road against the number 6 team in the country. Here comes Leonard Fournette, his first carry, and takes it for about 11. And LSU not used to being behind. And the end of the quarter is almost upon us. Play action all day for Harris. Deep. Got his man again. Treion Harris again. And LSU using their passing game to carve up Florida. Another gain, this time 20 yards.
Well, they put Harris in motion across the formation. They isolated the coverage, and then the deep crossing route off the play action. Good design, and again, 2 plays in a row. Excellent pass protection for Brandon Harris to make a throw.
End of 1 in Death Valley, and the home team down a touchdown. Brad Nessler, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe, and our ESPN crew. Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, where the home team is down at the end of the first quarter. And as we said, they're not used to being behind this year. LSU with a couple of nice pass plays from Brandon Harris to Treion Harris have put themselves in a spot here at the 33-yard line with a first down to start the quarter. After their first scoreless quarter of the year, again they fake it to Fournette, and Harris comes up firing. This time he had Harris open again and missed him.
Well, good pressure from Alex McAllister, number 14. McAllister had a nice ball game in Gainesville against LSU last year. Had a sack and a half. This time he makes quick pressure off the edge and gets a good hit on the quarterback at the end of the play for good measure.
Yeah, that changed the trajectory of your pass a little bit.
Again, first down so critical for both of these offenses. That incompletion, 2nd and 10 against this very good Florida defense.
Back to the eye they go with Fournette, who's been held to 26 yards so far through the first quarter, but that won't last forever. And here he comes into the middle, and at Florida, tough defense. Only gave him about 3, and he's still not down. He is now, but it's back around midfield. And the Tiger fans don't like that much.
Well, any great defense like Florida is, I mean, they're going to get particularly amped up to go against a guy like Leonard Fournette. I mean, Fournette, the front runner by most people's estimation of the Heisman Trophy, averaging over 200 yards a game, running roughshod over everybody. And this is a defense that has a lot of pride. They've done a great job in their run defense every game this year except one. The Tennessee game, they did not tackle well, and they gave up 254 yards of rushing. So this is an extra special challenge for them as a defense.
3rd down and 8 for Brandon Harris. Plenty of time. Over the middle. Got his man inside the 20. Treion Harris again. Pick up a 15 and a first down.
Well, nice job again by the LSU offensive line. Florida trying to run a little stunt, showing blitz, then dropping out. Good protection and another crossing route for Harris.
That was a heck of a throw right there. That's the only spot that one could be. And there's the red zone offense for LSU this year.
Florida, one of the best in the country at not giving up touchdowns in the red zone.
Wow, did Bullard get a big jump, but it didn't matter. Fournette got the corner, and he bowls his way to 1st and goal at the 5.
Yeah, Jonathan Bullard very quick off the ball, anticipated the snap count. Watch him get across the line of scrimmage, but the play was run away from him. The fullback, Mouton, got a little piece of him, and Leonard Fournette did the rest.
Fournette got 12. 1st and goal inside the 5. In the eye.
Remember now, they're missing their big blocking tight end. So this tight end over here is not as physical as Dylan Gordon.
They give it to Fournette. Takes the pile with him inside the 3. Brings up 2nd down and goal.
Mentioned Florida's defense in the red zone. This is the 16th possession, but they've only given up 5 touchdowns. So they have done an excellent job of making you settle for field goal attempts when you get in this part of the field.
Toby Weathersby, an extra blocker, and there's Holly told us will be in
he's
this particular
as,
formation on the left side.
Yep, he's lined up as a tight end on the left. He's right here.
Leonard Fournette's in a wildcat. Harris came off the field. Fournette with 12 rushing touchdowns on the year, tied for best in the country. He's heading to the outside for number 13. Touchdown, LSU.
I thought he got away with a little movement before the snap. Florida guessing inside run, and they just kind of gave the corner to him. You see that little hitch with his left foot before the ball was snapped, but no call, and Fournette easily walks into the end zone for the touchdown.
Didn't have to work that hard for that one. The extra point by Domingue is up and good. And just like that, Leonard Fournette with his 13th touchdown rushing of the year. This time the direct snap. The Wild Tiger cruising in 7-7 here in Baton Rouge. Cameron Gamble to kick. First SEC player to hit 1,000 in his first 5 games. And had they played that first game of the season, he probably would have done it in 4 games. That one was a no contest. This is a fumbled ball by Powell, but he got back on top of it around the 15-yard line. Here we're tied at 7. Best in the East, best in the West in the SEC on ESPN, and a first down for the Gators.
Well, in the first quarter, they did a great job on first down. They had 6 first down plays, and 4 of them gained 4 yards or more.
Calvin Taylor, this one won't get 4. He's lucky if he got 1. Deion Jones was the first guy that submarined in there, number 45. Bring up second down and 9.
Center Cameron Dillard a little bit slow getting up at the end of that play as well, number 54.
Florida's first down play selection. It probably surprised LSU a little bit with allowing Treion Harris to let her rip.
Yeah, all safe stuff though. It was bootleg. It was get him out on the edge and give him a run pass option, and he made good choices out there.
Now they move McGee in, the tight end. Harris in trouble, and after a timeout, that's not much of a play.
Yeah.
Deshaun Bauer made the stop.
Deshaun Bauer's been out of the lineup, been hurt since the Syracuse game with an ankle injury. This is his first game back. Outstanding defensive end, gets good pressure, working on the left tackle, David Sharp, and just whipped him to the inside to get to the quarterback.
I don't care who you are at Tiger Stadium, you don't want to be 3rd and 10 at your own 15.
Florida's had pretty good situations on 3rd down until this one right here.
About a 3-yard gain to DeMarcus Robinson, and Florida's got a kick. So this should give LSU great field position if Tre'Davious White can handle the punt on the other end, which he didn't do in the first quarter. That led to the Florida touchdown.
I think if they get good field position too, I wouldn't be surprised to see LSU go play action and take a shot for a big play down the field right away on first down.
Behind Townsend, his kick a good one again. White's got to back up all the way to the 28-yard line. Made 1 man miss, 2 miss, and goes down at the 33.
Good punt there.
53-yard punt. Everybody's first team everything, including the leading candidate probably for the Heisman Trophy, and we can start to talk about that now. We don't like doing that in August, but after watching him through the first 5 weeks of the season, it's kind of hard to keep from thinking that.
Well, he has the potential to turn any run into a long touchdown.
And you saw that tied for first in touchdowns with 12. That was coming into tonight. He's already got one tonight. Here's the play action. Todd said they wanted to take a shot, but he has to come back to his secondary receiver, and that's Doral. He's run out of bounds after a short gain. Holly.
Well, Leonard Fournette's not only doing it on the field, but he showed us last week he has a great big heart. After that win over South Carolina, he pulled out a laminated statement that he'd typed out on his computer. His buddy Earl from the strength and conditioning staff had laminated for him, and it had it in his shoulder pads right under his chest where his heart He read the speech on national TV, and basically he wanted to auction off his jersey and have those proceeds go to those people who had been in the floods. The NCAA has approved it. There is some paperwork pending, but how sweet is that? He said, I remembered going through Katrina, what that felt like. I want to help however I can.
Well, his family had to go through that, and they were living out there on a bridge for a few days like a lot of people were, so he knows what it's about. And here he comes, and almost a face mask at the end of that play. I guess he just got up high. Antonio Morrison, Leonard's rearranging his face mask, however, after that run.
Again, the key is to try to make him change directions in the backfield, which Florida was able to do. Now, Fournette is such a good back, he was still able to get upfield.
That's a clean tackle. Yep. No, it looked like it could have been a face mask, but he had him up around the top of the helmet. So it'll bring up 3rd down and short. And you would assume we might see Leonard again here. The pitch to him. Here comes a big one, maybe. Fournette rumbles down to the 33-yard line. 25 yards later.
Well, they come out of the huddle. They get lined up quickly. They snap it quick. And Mouton, the freshman fullback, watch number 47 on the lead block, gets the key block, and Fournette cuts right inside of that and turns a 3rd and 1 into a big play. Again, when he gets those shoulders going straight towards the line of scrimmage, look out.
He takes a breather. Darius Geis comes in at tailback, and he's not too shabby either. He had more yards a week ago than Leonard did. Number 5, the tailback. He'll get his first touch. Oh, he got whacked in the hole after about a 2-yard play by Jonathan Bullard. Bullard talking this week about playing Fournette. He said, you know, we got a really good defense, and I think we can handle him. It was sort of taken out of context on Twitter and all of that. Jonathan's the guy that knows how good Fournette is. Said he's the best back in the SEC and the best back in the country. We just hope we can slow him down, and I think we can because our defense is that good. 2nd down and 8. Harris has a look. Fournette readjusts in the backfield. And it's going to be Harris keeping it this time. Nice run.
See, LSU's not done a lot of zone read stuff, but they knew coming into the game that we've got to do some things to offset the speed and the upfield rush of this Florida defense. Florida shifted their defense when the formation changed, anticipating Fournette was running to the right side of the offense. And Harris did a nice job pulling that football and running it and setting up a very short 3rd down situation.
Both in the backfield. Darrell Williams and Fournette both in the backfield. Trayvon Durrell's been the favorite target for Harris tonight. 3rd down and 6. Throws in the middle to Fournette's got a blocker. Leonard Fournette broke a tackle, spins inside the 15, and it's 1st down LSU.
Well, nice little change-up play. A design little middle screen to Fournette. They lead with the other back, and watch the little sidearm delivery from Brandon Harris. Well designed, well set up, and an easy throw for the quarterback.
He doesn't have a lot of pass receptions, but he's got really good hands out of the backfield. I was watching before the game, catching half the passes thrown to him one-handed, so it's not like he can't catch it. He's just so good at running with it, and he'll probably run with it again. 1st and 10 at the 14. He will get the call. Broke a tackle close to the 10 before they stop him.
I made the point about Leonard Fournette. I mean, he's had some incredible highlight type runs, but last week when South Carolina came in here, they actually did a nice job defending him in the 1st half. They held him in check, and the 2nd play of the 3rd quarter, it was a 2nd and 7 from their own 13-yard line, and he busted through and ran 87 for a touchdown, and they kind of opened up the floodgates in the ball game. But he is one missed tackle away from a touchdown.
Williams in there for him right now, and Williams gets the carry. A tough couple of yards against the Florida defense. Williams actually had 2 touchdowns last week, and that went over the Gamecocks as well. So all 3 backs got in the act because Fournette had 158. I mentioned Geis actually had a better game, 161, and then Williams averaged over 6 a pop, including 2 touchdowns. So they've got a loaded backfield.
Yeah.
Seems like it's always the case down here, but they continue to reload and have not just 1, not just 2, but 3 or 4 good tailbacks. In this case, 3 wideouts up top on 3rd and 5. Harris looking that way, fires to the corner, got it! Malachi Dupree for the touchdown.
He was working on Quincy Wilson, and at the right of your screen, you're going to see Quincy Wilson take a bad angle. He undercuts the route, thinking the ball is underthrown, and it was a perfectly thrown by Brandon Harris to the back pylon to Malachi Dupree.
Extra point is good. And for the first time tonight, the home team in front with exactly 5 minutes remaining in the half. Brandon Harris, Malachi Dupree on the other end. 14-7 Tigers. You're watching the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive game of the week. Number 6 LSU leads number 8 Florida by a touchdown after trailing 7-0 early. 14 unanswered for LSU, courtesy of Brandon Harris and his 5th touchdown pass of the year.
You know, the more I watched that play during the commercial, the better I liked it. He threw his receiver open. He did a beautiful job with a touch pass of throwing it in the right spot and letting his receiver adjust to the football.
Cam Cameron was telling us yesterday he had one speed a year ago, and that was throwing fastballs every time, and now he's got some touch, and that one couldn't have been thrown any better.
And the reason you want touch, it improves the receiver's vision, and it allows him to get his hands in a stronger position to catch the football.
Powell's going to bring it out from about 5 yards deep. And a nice return out to the 24-yard line. It's Harris on a throw, and a good one it is. Complete. Antonio Callaway, the freshman. Nope, they're going to say he's out of bounds. Thought he made the catch.
It's a tough throw for Treion Harris. He was running, throwing to the sideline, and he kind of lofted it, put a lot of air under it. Callaway not able to get his foot in bounds, only needs one. Take a look at this again. Close.
At that point, I don't know if he still has full possession of the football. They're not going to stop it here, so it's 2nd down and 10. Treion completes it to his tight end, who got hammered after he made the catch by Kevin Tolliver. Boy, they think a lot of this kid. He's going to be maybe the next great one at corner for the Tigers of LSU.
Has a very interesting disposition. He's a very serious guy. He doesn't say very much, and he doesn't get affected by very many things. Very focused young man as a true freshman playing a corner.
He got affected a little bit by that tackle, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so.
3rd down and 4. DeMarcus Robinson out to the top. They back out of the blitz look. Still, there's pressure on Harris, and down he goes. And Lewis Neal with his 5th sack of the year. One of our impact players, and he's had a whale of a first half.
Treion Harris does not look real comfortable in the drop back pass situation. Watch how quickly he tries to get out of the pocket. Instead of stepping up in the pocket and helping his right tackle, he tries to escape. And that allows Neal to get away from the tackle and get the sack.
13-yard loss. That changes field position considerably. White's trying to get everybody out of the way here, so nobody touches this punt that's going to die down at the 41, maybe the 42-yard line. The toss to Fournette, and it's a flea flicker. Back to Harris, going long. Dupree has got it.
What great execution. This is a one-man route. There's nobody else out on the route except Dupree. Maximum protection. Fournette takes it all the way into the line of scrimmage, and it's one-on-one against the best defender on the Florida defense, Vernon Hargraves, and a beautiful throw by Brandon Harris.
52 yards to the 6, where it's 1st and goal. Huge play here late in the 2nd quarter. And that's Fournette at the tailback spot going straight ahead. Leonard Fournette, touchdown. A big play leads to an inevitable play. Number 7 for 6 yards and a score.
Well, he just runs right through arm tackles. I mean, you better get more than one blue jersey around him if you want to get him to the ground.
Took less than a minute for LSU to take control of this game.
Just impressed with the development and the maturity of Brandon Harris. I mean, everybody knows about Fournette, but the key to this team really going places this year is the development of their passing game to complement Fournette and their young quarterback, Brandon Harris. And he has gotten better and better each week and more of a vocal leader each week, more confident with his role on this team.
It helped to have the opportunity to play South Carolina last week when it looked like they could take care of the Gamecocks even though they fought hard. He had career highs, 18 completions and 28 attempts for 228 yards. You couple that with what he's done in the first half, and I'm with you, partner. He's coming of age a little bit. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, Todd, as you mentioned, the biggest thing that's changed about Brandon Harris is just his confidence level. I spoke to him at practice on Thursday, and he said because he was locked in a quarterback battle with Anthony Jennings early in the season, he didn't really feel like he was in a position to say much. He said now that the job has become his, this team has become his. He said, I feel like the guys look forward to hearing from me. I try to talk to them every week. I'm communicating. I feel so confident in this team. They are my team, and we're seeing surely that confidence tonight.
You just saw it there with our shots on the sideline. He had a word for just about everybody on his offense, and he's still working it over there.
He came up to me in the training room on Thursday, came over, shook my hand, introduced himself. We had a nice conversation. Very confident, sure young man. I was very impressed.
Cameron Gamble to kick, 21 unanswered. LSU points. A line drive, this one scooped up around the 12-yard line by Valdez Showers. And great coverage, which has not been a strong suit for LSU. They make the hit on it. Now Treion Harris running out of trouble, and he gets a first down.
See, that's what I think he needs to do. Instead of trying to escape outside on this LSU defense, if he's going to run, move up in the pocket and look to run straight ahead. That's been their best first down play in a while. They started off the game very effective on first down. But before that play, their last 4 first down plays had netted them only 2 yards.
As we hit 2 minutes in the half, remember Florida's used all of their timeouts already. Harris avoided a big hit and got a couple yards before he's run out of bounds.
Of course, LSU operating this year with a new defensive coordinator. Kevin Steele replaced John Chavis, who moved on to Texas A&M. Kevin Steele spent time on the Alabama staff, the Clemson defensive coordinator. There's Kevin on the left. In fact, he and Jim McElwain were on the Alabama staff together.
They had their lockers right next to each other.
Used to sit next to each other in the press box. Very familiar with one another.
Sometimes good friends have to put it aside for about 3.5 hours on a weekend. Harris again avoids the rush, and he's going long, and he's got a man. Did he make the catch?
Wow.
Callaway did. Bobbled it. Tipped it to himself, and a huge play for Florida.
Great concentration by Callaway and a bad angle by Ricky Jefferson. Watch the safety number 29 go underneath the receiver. An excellent concentration by Callaway at the end of the play.
Wow, nice catch. Freshman out of Miami, a guy they think is going to be a big timer. That was a big time play. Pick up of 48 yards. Florida's back in the red zone, trailing by 2 touchdowns. They fake it to Taylor, and Harris goes to the end zone to the tight end, Jake McGee. Just like that, Florida cuts it to 7 with the extra point coming up.
Just about to say Jake McGee's been quiet. They run a wheel route, and they just kind of let him go. McGee is right here. He's going to run a little wheel route and up. They cover the outside part of the route, but nobody covers the upfield portion. And Treion Harris does a nice job of finding him. The defensive end, Arden Key, a true freshman, number 49, looks like he might have been responsible for the coverage. Didn't stay with it.
Remember, George Powell went out with an injured leg, so Austin Harden, the backup kicker, in for the extra point. And no problem adding on the 14th points. Quick drive, 44 seconds. 80 yards in 4 plays. The big one was Harris to Callaway to get him to the 19, and Jake McGee did the rest. 21-14 LSU. Right now, Florida's probably happy they didn't have any timeouts to work with.
Yeah.
They took it down the field without any timeouts. Cut it down to a 7-point advantage, and we've only got 94 seconds left in the second quarter. So Austin Harden to kick. Nick Brosette and Darius Geis are back inside the 5-yard line for LSU. Line drive is going to go to the end zone. Geis can't handle it. They'll bring it out to the 25. He's got the advantage on this one. Bowls his way for 13 more yards. I'm not sure how many Gators he left in his wake, but there were 3 or 4.
Nice job just kind of reading the zone blocking, falling in on the backside there, and waiting for an opportunity to burst.
8th straight game of 100+ now. I said he's going to have 100 by halftime if they keep feeding him to it. He just lost a couple yards, but he's still got 100, I think. And 37 seconds, 35. Now they are finally going to call a timeout here. Number 1 priority, get the ball. And then number 2 priority, don't drop the ball.
Well, that's been the MO of this Florida defense so far this season, is getting the football, forcing turnovers.
Geis comes in, Fournette goes out. On 2nd down and 13. Here's a wide out screen to Dupree, broke 1 tackle and then got hammered at the 49-yard line by Brian Poole.
Very talented secondary on this Florida defense.
Timeout, LSU. That's a 30-second timeout.
So LSU takes its final timeout. Trent Domingue, he's 7 out of 7 on field goals with the long 45-yarder. So nice to, they'll still need to make up some ground here for him in the final 27 seconds. Brandon Harris wanted to go long, I think, and this is the last thing you want to do is get sacked. He didn't, and he will throw deep. And it's caught by Dupree. Touchdown. Talk about making something out of nothing. A 50-yard touchdown pass.
Well, Jordan Sherritt, number 17, had a shot in the backfield on Brandon Harris, and Brandon Harris avoided that and then made the big play down the field.
Domingue doesn't have to worry about a field goal attempt. He can just hit the extra point, which is up and good.
This was all Brandon Harris. Watch Brandon Harris get away from the pressure. Right there, and he protects the ball, and once he gets outside, he gets his eyes back downfield and finds Dupree. And the defender on the other end had just gotten turned completely around. The safety, Marcus May, got twisted around, lost vision on the football.
Battle of unbeatens. Entertaining football game. Could have been a touchdown closer, but some big fireworks late in the quarter has given LSU a 2-score lead heading to their locker room as we send it to the Buick halftime report. Adnan and the guys standing by. LSU, the number 6 team in the country, with a 28-14 lead as we get set to go into the third quarter. Welcome back to Death Valley, everybody. Brad Nessler with Ty Blackledge. Partner, if you told me that 304 yards total, I would say Leonard Fournette had 200 of it, and maybe they got 100 passing. That wasn't the case. Brandon Harris was sharp.
He was very sharp. Excellent balance. And remember, this is the Florida defense that has been holding all their opponents to right about that for a whole game. So excellent balance, mixing the run and pass, kept the Florida defense off balance, averaged almost 10 yards per play. So it was not just Leonard Fournette, good passing game as well.
Fournette still had his 100, so who knows, maybe he's on pace for 200 again. They're going to get the football first to start the third quarter. Whoever wins this second half is going to be the only undefeated Southeastern Conference team. And Geis is going to take a knee. Just a moment ago, Jim McElwain talked with Holly Rowe.
Well, Coach, coming into this game, LSU was almost 3-to-1 run-to-pass ratio, but they're hurting tonight in the pass game. How do you adjust to that?
They're doing a heck of a job on 1st and 10. You know, they're getting us in those situations because and their quarterback playing great, and you know, give them all the credit for that. But you know, when you look at it, I mean, is it really about them or is it about us? You know, we've been hurting ourselves in a lot of things, and yet we'll see what happens this second half.
What do you have to stop hurting yourself in?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's about understanding the guy next to you is going to do his job. You do your job. That's really what it's all about.
All right, and quickly, Treion, how's he doing?
You know what? He's doing okay. He's having fun out there. We've had some signal busts. Had to use some timeouts, so we can't use this half. But at the same time, he's confident. The guys are confident. Let's go out and play.
Thank you.
Thanks.
First snap of the third quarter offensively for LSU, a flag down.
Yeah, and it's probably going to set him back. You know, Jim McElwain made a great point about how effective LSU was on first down in that first half.
Holding, offense, number 64, 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
William Clapp, the right guard.
When you play a defense like Florida's, who loves to penetrate the line of scrimmage and create negative plays, you have to stay ahead of the chains, and that's what LSU did the entire first half. And now the first play, they're backed up.
The experience is the tackles in the center for LSU, but the two guards, one's a true freshman, one's a redshirt freshman.
Right.
And the redshirt freshman was just called for the hold, and that makes it first down and 20. Fournette, the tailback behind Mouton. Will get the call, and his fullback's in front, and Leonard's got about the holding call back. Give him 10.
Really nice job by the right tackle, Vidal Alexander. Watch number 74 step out and then punch back in with his left hand. He actually blocks two Gator defenders. Alexander was a guard last year, moved out to tackle, lost about 25 pounds.
And Fournette changes direction. He's going to lose yardage. On the previous carry, he had moved into the top 10 all time in LSU rushing history. He just moved out with that call. He'll get it back, I'm pretty sure.
It's a big play right here for the Florida defense. Right out of the gate to start the third quarter, you get the penalty, you get a negative play there. Now you got them in 3rd and long. LSU was 5 for 6 on 3rd downs in the first half, mostly because they had all manageable situations.
5 for 6 tonight, but this is a big one. 3rd down at 14. Williams and Fournette both with Harris in the backfield. Brandon, plenty of time. Deep middle. Incomplete, broken up, intended for Diarse. And Florida is going to force a punt.
Well, I liked what LSU did, though, on that 3rd and long. They had two backs in the backfield. They kept both of them in to help protect the quarterback. They both chipped on the outside rushers, and that gave the quarterback, Brandon Harris, plenty of time, just not able to make the connection with Diarse.
So that holding call was the killer, because now it's 4th down at 15, punting inside their own 10, and they should get decent field position, they being the Gators. Antonio Callaway is the punt return man. Short kick, and it's going to bounce near the sideline and finally go out of bounds. Ended up getting a decent roll out of it, but it's out at the 34-yard line. Let's see if they can gear it up to start the third. Calvin Taylor, and Taylor, one of his better runs of the night.
Really nice block on the outside by the freshman receiver Callaway. Antonio Callaway, 198-pounder freshman out of Miami. Blocking on the perimeter. Watching the left side of your screen, you're going to see 81 lock his man up, keeps his hands inside, and Kelvin Taylor does a nice job of just cutting off of that block.
And right off the number 1 on the back of his jersey on that block, and got 8 yards. 2nd down and 2. Now the tight ends both come in from being wide. Now they're in tight, and it's Callaway moving around. Fake it to Taylor, and
good read.
Nice job by not trying to throw that into any traffic, and Treion Harris picks up the 1st down on the run.
See, this was a designed bootleg, which ideally you get him out on the perimeter, but it was a good upfield rush, And Harris made a nice read cutting inside the block of his tight end Goolsby and turning it into a first down run.
So first down at the 47, opening possession offensively the third quarter for the Gators, who trail by 2 scores.
Well, the guy who has been absent for Florida tonight, Demarcus Robinson, is their big play receiver, an explosive guy out here on the edge. He's been very silent so far for the Gators.
Got 1 catch. Again, play action. He's looking that way and going that way, and wide open is Goolsby. And Goolsby's inside the 25. He got loose back there in the secondary.
Well, 2 defenders went with Demarcus Robinson, and nobody picked up Goolsby coming out of the backfield. Here's Goolsby. He's going to run out to the outside. 2 defenders are going with Demarcus Robinson on the inside post route.
The corner and the safety were thinking what you were thinking. And meanwhile, the tight end gets it all the way down inside the 25.
Nice read by Treion Harris, finding the uncovered guy.
30-yard pass play. First down, Gators at the Tiger 23. Powell in motion. And now sets up in the slot. There goes Neal again over Harris. That's his 2nd sack of the night.
Watch as this play unfolds. Kelvin Taylor's going to drop over here. And Treion Harris is looking downfield. If he dumps it right now to the back, Kelvin Taylor makes that a positive gain. Would have come back because of the illegal formation, but can't hold the ball that long in that situation.
Lewis Neal was one of our impact players defensively. He's made an impact for LSU tonight. Another sack and an 8-yard loss. And second down and 18. Treion Harris straight up the middle. Broke 1 tackle. Nice run inside the 20, and he's going to get a first down or very close. He's about a yard shy.
That's the point I was making about Treion Harris. He's such a gifted runner. Step up in the pocket. Keep your eyes downfield. And then if you have to run up through the middle. Because that LSU defense is chasing receivers. Instead of trying to get outside the defense, go up underneath them.
And how about that move in the open field?
Yeah.
Again, Florida, as they've done a couple times earlier, bring in Brian Cox Jr. and C.C. Jefferson, normally defensive linemen, as extra offensive push. Third down and 1. Kelvin Taylor. Oh, man, he ran into a wall. Wearing number 52. Kendall Beckwith didn't get it.
It's all about leverage and short yardage plays. Nice job on the inside by Gottschall, number 57. He took up a couple blocks and enabled the linebacker Beckwith to come over the top to make the play.
They've only missed 1 fourth down conversion this year. They're going to go for it again. 4th and a yard. Harris gives it off to Scarlett, heading to the corner. He's got the first and a bunch more. 1st and goal for the Gators. Jordan Scarlett, the freshman, gets 11 yards.
Well, how about that for a blocker out in front that's a defensive lineman? Brian Cox Jr. doing a nice job leading the play from the fullback position and springs the tailback for a first down.
1st and goal at the 3. Trying to make it a 1-score game. Florida's opening drive of the third quarter has taken them to the 8th play in 63 yards. Knocking on the LSU door.
Good spot.
Kelvin Taylor, he's trying to get a block for him. Taylor cuts it in. Touchdown, Gators.
How about Brian Cox Jr., though? A defensive end leading the play as a fullback. This is an athletic guy. Watch him get his block. McGee gets a block. But a defensive lineman lined up as the fullback and gets the key block that Kelvin Taylor cuts up inside for the touchdown.
And Ricky Jefferson, the safety, is wondering if he can get a license plate number on Brian Cox Jr. He got it right in the chin. Extra point. Up and good. How about Florida's defense first holding LSU's offense on their first series, getting the ball back after the punt, taking it 10 plays and 66 yards. Kelvin Taylor, for the 8th time this year, finds the end zone. It's a one-score game. Nice looking hardware. Ohio State won it last year. They're playing right now on ABC. And here we've got number 6 LSU leading number 8 Florida 28-21. There we go. And Geis will sail over his head, bring it out to the 25. Fournette spins his way out to the 23-yard line. And his first touchdown tonight, he just cruised in the end zone on the Wildcat. And speaking of, Tom Cruise in the house tonight. It's a big game.
Wow.
It's not mission impossible to beat these guys, though. You know, LSU, tough at home. At night, it's almost impossible under Les Miles. 47-4 Les is at night in Death Valley. Second half possessions, though, they've had 2 3-and-outs after going 4 touchdowns in 4 possessions to end the first half. Let's see if they can get a first down here without punting. 2nd down and 3. Fournette's going to lose yardage. Nice play. First guy there was Jared Davis, and then Brian Cox cleaned up. 3rd down and 5 coming up.
Well, Davis made that last play. And I'll tell you, these 2 linebackers, Davis and Morrison, 40 and 3 for Florida, have been very, very active. Right there.
Will they have to punt again? Darrell Williams will let us know. The stiff arm, and they will. Boy, Florida's defense this 3rd quarter has just shut things down.
Well, again, coming into the game, statistically one of the best in the country, only allowing 296 yards per game, 16th best in the country. They gave up over 300 in the first half on a lot of nice run pass balance for LSU, but so far in the second half, a different looking Florida defense.
So Jamie Keene's got to kick it again. Antonio Callaway waits down there on the other end in the middle of your screen. Nice kick. Callaway's got a back pedal to the 28. Slips a little bit. Now comes forward. Antonio Callaway at midfield. He might take it. Callaway to try to tie the game. Touchdown. What a quarter for the Florida Gators.
Coming into the game, LSU, the worst rated team in college football in punt return defense, giving up an average of 23 yards per punt return. That one devastating here in the 3rd quarter.
You don't like to see triple digits in that right-hand column. There's a whole bunch of triple digits, and it just got worse.
And that punt return one is the worst it could be.
72 yards. And I said to tie the game, you got to hit the extra point first. I understand that, but Austin Harden to try to tie the game with 1:04 remaining in the 3rd. Up and good. The freshman, who they say we keep pressing the envelope with this kid to see how much he can do. He just did a whole bunch of damage if you're an LSU fan. 72 yards streaming down the sideline has tied the game at 28. And what a game it has become, courtesy of Florida putting up 14 in the 3rd quarter, and the 3rd quarter is almost over. The last 6 came from that young guy on a 72-yard punt return.
Well, it was a long punt, but not particularly high, and that gave Callaway a chance to field it and make something happen. And you know, whenever you have a return like that, it's a combination of a couple guys not blocking in the back, passing up an opportunity, and then a couple other guys getting a block. And then your returner needs to make one guy miss, and that was well done by the Florida punt return team.
His previous long this year as a punt returner was a 37-yarder. He was averaging about 9.5 yards a return. But that one has struck the hearts of LSU fans to tie this game. And now Harden's kick is going to be deep again and not returnable to bring it out to the 25 and a tie game. Here's another look.
Again, watch. There's a couple guys early that are going to pass on not blocking in the back. And then there were 2 key blocks. And then Callaway just used his speed to outrun the punter. Excellent job by the Florida special teams.
And his quarterback, Treion Harris, watching as it happens and going, that's making my job a lot easier.
Yep.
LSU up to the line in a hurry. Quick pitch. Fournette, nice spin move, and then powers his way for close to 8.
Yeah, I think you just keep feeding him for a while. They kind of got away from their I formation a little bit, went more one back.
And that was a Keanu Neal tackle away from being maybe a touchdown run. And that's Keanu bringing him down. Second down, a short 3. Fournette, first down, a bunch more, 45 midfield before he's run out of bounds.
He's the best player on your football team. The game is in the balance. Keep giving him the football.
18-yard pickup.
Gerald Hawkins, a nice job blocking from his left tackle position. And what this will do is this will set up an opportunity for a play-action pass, maybe one of those deep crossing routes like they hit Doral earlier in the ball game.
I don't think LSU wants to run another play before the end of the third quarter. And the third quarter does come to a close. Brandon Harris, number 7. Leonard Fournette. Tigers, Gators, tie game. 15 more to play. Hang around. We start the fourth quarter tied at 28. Speaking of 200+ yards per game, Leonard Fournette's not going to get much on that carry.
Nope, they made him change directions in the backfield. Again, that's the key to defending him. It was the same if you tried to defend Herschel Walker or Bo Jackson, because of how fast and powerful they were. If they got their shoulders square to the line of scrimmage and hit that line of scrimmage at full speed, it was going to be positive gains. If you get them to turn their shoulders at the line of scrimmage, then you can get them on the ground.
3 wide receivers set here on second down and 10. Fournette stays in the backfield as Brandon Harris is in the shotgun. Now shifts to his left. They fake it to him, and Harris is going to keep it himself, trying to get to the edge. Got 3 or 4 and got whacked out of bounds. No flag. Or is there one? Yes, there is. It rolled in there late in the bottom of the pile. Going to have a personal foul.
It wasn't a hard, heavy hit, but it was definitely in the white area. Good read.
There is no foul for a late hit, out of bounds.
And they're going to pick it up.
Third down.
Yeah, I mean, he tried to hold up. It was Keanu Neal, number 42.
I think it was worse looking because Brandon slipped right there on the sideline.
I think you're right. I think it's a good no call. I'm glad they picked that up. It's good hustle.
And a huge third down here for both teams. Harris, quick slant, got his man, and it's Treion Doral again. He's been his main target. Pickup of 14.
Nice job. They motioned one of the backs out of the backfield. That loosened things up, and then the slot receiver, Doral, ran the little slant. Good timing and good accurate throw by Brandon Harris.
5th catch of the night for number 83. Keeps the drive going at the 31-yard line.
Now you can give the ball back to number 7.
They run up to the line in a hurry again, and here comes number 7 on the pitch. Wow, that looked like it was going to be a 1-yard gain.
See, that doesn't look like much, but it's a 4.5 yard gain, and you got guys bouncing off of him as he's running the football. I mean, that's a 5-yard gain that looked like should have been a 0 gain.
Yep. Fournette with 139 on 23 carries. Again, he has not broken a long one yet. His longest was 25. Second down and 6 at the 27. Trying to regain the lead. Here comes the big cat again. And there goes the big cat again. Out at the 15, first down. Make it the 13 before they knock him out.
Well, he had 140 yards against the Gators last year as a freshman, and at that time it was a career high. He's had better games this year. The yards are harder to come by tonight, but he is still running strong here in the fourth quarter. You know, he's the kind of guy, Brad, also that if you're a lineman or a tight end or a wide receiver, you want to stay on that block a little longer because you know he's capable of getting it in the end zone.
We said to Vidal Alexander yesterday what it's like to block for this guy, and he said, all I can go by is the crowd making noise, and if they're really loud, I knew he did something good because I'm usually blocking and I don't have a chance until we watch the film to see how he did it. Geis is going to come in and give Leonard a breather. Florida's defense has been good, but tonight, different story. When they get down there, and two of those touchdowns, remember, were Fournette, one in a wildcat situation and one on a handoff. But in this case, Geis is in as the tailback. Here's the fade to the corner, and any flags? Jalen Tabor, they say no. Malachi Dupree was thinking yes.
Well, pretty good coverage by Tabor. This is kind of a 50-50 ball. Both guys have a chance, one-on-one, corner on an island. Now,
a little bit of a hand fight at the end, but not much.
It's a one-person route. Good maximum protection, trying to go one-on-one. The ball was thrown a little bit inside. Had the ball been thrown over the outside shoulder a little bit more, a better chance of success.
Malachi Dupree, 5 for 115 and a couple of touchdowns. Play action. Here's the throw to the tight end, and he got drilled at the 17-yard line. And it was Keanu Neal, a guy that his coach, Jeff Collins, likens him to Cam Chancellor with the Seahawks. Watch this play.
Well, there's Neal. He reads it. He's got his eyes on the quarterback, read quickly, and then a nice form wrap-up tackle for no gain. LSU tried to fool him, sending action to the left and the throw back to the tight end, but Florida in great position to make the play.
Once they took Leonard Fournette out, the offense stalled, and now they got to settle for 3. This guy hasn't missed yet. This will be a 33-yard attempt for Domingue, and it's a fake. The throw to Domingue, he bobbles it, and now he heads to the end zone. Touchdown! We've seen Les Miles do that before. It was picture perfect.
We've seen him do it before against these same Florida Gators. Brad Craigthorpe was the holder, a backup quarterback, and he made the play.
Extra point if he's not too excited goes through as well. Give him all 7 of those points. We told you the fourth quarter was going to be fun. This is craziness. The kicker caught it 3 times, and from 16 yards out gives the Tigers a touchdown lead. Gamble to kick. Let's take you back 5 years ago. Fake field goal, last second touchdown. Very similar. Here's what it looked like.
There's a pass, same play, and that one is touchdown! Tigers! 6 seconds to go in the game.
So the fake wasn't a touchdown, but it was keeping the drive alive that led to that touchdown pass. And Les Miles has pulled another one out of his mad hat, and he's up by 7. Now the pressure on Treion Harris and company to answer. Harris Harris throws on the run and throws a strike to Powell, and he's got a first down and cut back to the middle of the field to get some extra yardage. Georgia, if they win that game, beat Missouri and then beat Florida and Jacksonville, they could be back in the hunt in the East, but that's not the point right now. Treion Harris, empty backfield. That's McGee, the tight end, in motion. Gonna go deep. Overshot everybody. Was intended for Demarcus Robinson.
I like the idea of throwing on first down. However, when they're covered like that and you don't dump it off and you bring up 2nd and 10, that's difficult as an offense. You look downfield, you look for the deep throw. If it's not there, you got to find somewhere to dump off the football. That time Robinson was well covered down the field.
Harris on 2nd and 10 does throw short. One hop that somebody got a hand on it, I think, intended for McGee. It appears that it got tipped to the line, and it's 3rd and 10.
Good pressure on the inside. Gottschall, number 57, with pressure, and Arden Key, number 49. Both guys pressing the pocket.
Might have gotten a finger on it.
Yep.
Didn't have enough on it either way. 3rd and 10.
New defensive line coach Ed Orgeron for this LSU defense. One of the most animated guys in college football. I'm sure screaming right now.
If his voice is still with him. Harris waits and goes short, and that again thrown behind Antonio Callaway.
Well, he just kind of short-armed it too. You know, this is one where he had a guy on the crossing route. He had Callaway. Just go ahead and throw it. Don't try to aim it. Don't try to guide it in there. Just throw it.
Well, right now, Jim McElwain's going with only one timeout remaining. I'm not going to get the ball back probably. They're going for it on 4th and 10. We've only missed once all year. They're 2 for 2 tonight. This is the ball game right here. 4th down and 10. Florida at its own 38-yard line. You'll know in a moment if they get it or not. They didn't. Deion Jones makes the play defensively.
Boy, what a quick athletic move by Deion Jones. As Callaway breaks inside, he's going to break inside. Watch Deion Jones turn his hips and change directions and get a hand on the football. That's an athletic play by a linebacker in coverage on a wide receiver.
As good as he was for most of the game, Todd, that's his 6th straight incompletion.
Yep.
And now LSU takes over at the 38-yard line. Florida can only stop it with one timeout remaining. And they, by the way, have the best back in the country, about 8 yards deep behind their quarterback. This is Leonard Fournette to ice it time. Here he comes. Tough yard, man. Jared Davis met him in the hole, didn't get him down, but knocked him back. The clock will work its way down under 3 minutes. We start to look at this game, and as LSU survives it here at home, I'm not sure either one of these teams has to move very far in the national rankings. Florida's going to dip a little bit, but yeah. You come in here and play LSU this tough, shouldn't lose much. 2nd down and 8. Whoa, the ball's on the ground, covered. Brandon Harris. That's the one thing that could have turned things around in Florida's favor.
Well, I think that was Caleb Brantley, number 57, who guessed on the snap count and almost blew the play up in the backfield. Caleb Brantley, number 57, is going to guess on the snap count, and it's a bad snap. Ethan Posick, the center, got a little jumpy in there. It was a bad snap, and Brandon Harris alertly falls on the football, but that could have been disastrous for LSU right there.
Now Florida takes his final timeout, and it's going to be 3rd down and 11 on the next snap.
I think LSU will run the football here and try to run as much clock off as they can.
Fournette trots out there. He's got another 176 yards in a quiet night running the football. He'll carry it again. Reverses his field, looking for a block from his quarterback. Cuts it back up, and he got to the 30-yard line, or the 35, I should say.
Now LSU will just let the play clock go all the way down before 4th down. And then try to punt and bury Florida down inside the 5-yard line. But they'll let this clock, the 24 seconds, run all the way off and try to leave Florida with as little time as possible and the worst field position possible on this punt.
As we worked it under 2 minutes. Unless they take their last time out, they'll just let the clock run out, take the penalty, and then punt it. And that's what they're going to do.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So now Jamie Keene, one of the captains tonight, special team captain, the punter, just wants to make this as miserable as possible for the Gators on where they start their offensive set.
Well, after watching a game earlier today, I would say if you're Jamie Keene, make sure you catch this snap first and foremost.
No kidding. And then try to keep it out of that guy's hands without making him make a fair catch. He made the grab, end over end kick, bounces out, or bounces at the 10-yard line. So he did do a good job. They're 90 yards away with no timeouts and 93 seconds to work with. You're trying to kind of hook and ladder or something like that down here. Is it too dangerous at your own 10?
I don't think you need to do that yet.
Powell. Harris is waiting too long. That's the last thing you want to have happen. And Lewis Neal's got his 3rd sack of the night.
Well, that's the absolute worst thing that can happen to you. And it's only a 3-man rush for LSU.
He's just been too much to handle off that edge tonight. 92's had a great game.
LSU rushing 3, dropping 8. Going to try to force Treion Harris to throw underneath.
Got to make a decision. The throw is just to Calvin Taylor, and he's not back to the original line of scrimmage. And the clock is under a minute. Florida's got to hustle, no way to stop it. They've got to get out to the 20 just to move the chains. They don't look very organized, and I don't say I can blame them because this is a tough spot to play without timeouts and the crowd going crazy. Harris in his own end zone. Fires long on the run. It is caught by Callaway.
Well, remember, Callaway is the one who had a chance to make the catch in the end zone, and it got knocked out. Again, sometimes you don't worry if a guy's open or not. Throw it up there, give your guy a chance to make a play. Offensive players are better at adjusting to the ball, typically, than defensive players.
At the 49, still life for the Gators. Harris going to go deep on the sideline, and this one's out of bounds. Jake McGee, the tight end, was the intended receiver. 20 seconds remaining. Now they'd like to get about 25 here and then give him a legitimate shot to try to hang one to the end zone again. They might have 3 plays left. They have no way to stop it other than out of bounds or a first down.
Well, there's 20 seconds left in the game, and substitution-wise, they just took Callaway and DeMarcus Robinson out of the game. So 2 of their best receivers are not even on the field for this play. That means Powell would be the go.
Harris can't get sacked or it's going to be over. Incomplete. It was McGee, the intended receiver. And now there's 13 seconds remaining.
Well, and this is a game and a tape that Treion Harris will learn from, because he's taken too much time on some of these plays. He's got to understand what he needs to do to get himself in a position to throw it to the end zone. LSU very content to rush 3, drop 8, and keep everything in front of them. The only thing they can't do right now is let somebody get behind them.
3 wideouts to the top and 1 to the bottom here. Maybe 2 plays left. Harris again taking all kinds of time. Fires as far as he can. Broken up by John Battle. And now we got 1 play left.
See, the problem, because Treion Harris didn't complete any passes to get beyond the 50, he can throw it as hard as he wants now, and it's not going to get to the end zone. I mean, that's the problem for Florida right now.
Kevin Steele can put about 7 guys back at the 10-yard line right now if he wants to.
I mean, you can call your Hail Mary play, but you're not going to be able to get the ball to the end zone from the throw.
And interference would help a little bit. That might be the only thing to hang your hat on right now. Final play, barring a marker. Harris runs up. Time has expired. Still moving around, trying to find a place to let fly. Here it comes. As far as he can put it up there. And it's out of bounds. And LSU has won it at home to stay perfect. It lived up to the billing of the best in the East and the best in the West, but the West came out on top. 35-28. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, Coach, this was a tie ball game. It was 4th and long. Why was that the moment to go for that fake field goal?
We had it, and it was an opportunity for us to get 7, and 7's a whole lot more than 3.
What was going through your mind as your kicker was bobbling that ball, trying to reel it in?
I had some unusual reactions. I wanted to see it. He's caught it perfectly all week.
Has this been something you had in all week, Coach?
Yeah, it was something we put in just for them.
These games with the Gators always seem to be dramatic. What was this like for you tonight?
Well, Jim's done a great job with them. I mean, they're a very good football team, and our guys played lights out. I mean, get back into the game, throwing for the end zone. That's a Florida Gator LSU contest.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Another one of those. Great game by that young fella. LSU still unbeaten, 6-0, 4-0 in conference play. For Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe, Brad Nessler saying so long from Baton Rouge. Mark Jones and the crew in Salt Lake City for Arizona State and Utah. Jonesy, it's all yours.